Hey everybody, welcome to the First Time Gardener. So today we are going to plant our onions that I have seeded. They're looking very leggy, didn't get a lot of germination, but I want to put in the ground what we do have right now and get them going. And I'm also going to sow in 2 rows of onions, see if I have any better luck with that. They didn't do very well in the grow trays. I'm kind of thinking maybe it got too wet, and these seeds are very small and they don't like to be wet. They'll rot. So I don't know if that was part of the problem or not, but anyway, we're going to put the ones in that we have in the trays that are already started. We're going to put them in the ground, and then we are going to sow in 2 rows of onions, one the sweet onion and one the red onion, and see if they do any better. All right, follow me down in the garden and we'll start putting those in. So I've got them ready here to put in. As you can see, they're very leggy. When we did this earlier, we tilled this whole area up. We amended the soil. You saw me plant the carrots over here, and we put shade cloth on it right now. So we are going to plant the onions next to them. And that's what we're going to do right now. All right guys, so you can see I have it's an electrical conduit pipe, 1/2 inch, but I use this just to get a straight line in the dirt. So I kind of just push it down, make a line, so I kind of go see where I'm at. Now I'm not going to use the measurement marks on here, but if you can see, I mark that with a permanent marker every 12 inches. So when I'm setting my larger vegetables and stuff and I'm planting them, I can plant them on 12-inch intervals. You can get a different color one, like a red or a yellow, and mark it on 18-inch intervals or whatever. So when you're planting, you kind of know what you're doing. All right, so I want a little separation from our carrot, so we're going to do that there. About that much distance between the carrots and that. So I have a little tool here that I'm going to poke a hole in the ground and hopefully get these onions going. And the onions I'm going to put about 8 inches apart from each other, because the onions hopefully will grow 2 to 3 inches on either side of the stalk. So that would be great if we could get that to go to a nice bulb, about a 4 to 5 inch bulb. So anyway, and these are drying out here, so I want to get them in the ground. They just haven't been doing all that great. Growing them from seed in these trays. So I'm going to do another row, and I'm going to try to sow them into the ground. I'm just going to make a furrow. I'm just going to make a hole here to plant that in there. And basically, I don't see much of a root system, you can see on there. But I want to make sure when you plant this that you plant it level with the top of the soil that's there now. Do not go and cover all this greenery up. You want it to sit just on the top there. And we're going to do it, yeah, we're going to do it about 8 inches apart. I'm going to get my single ones done first out of there. And I like them when they hold together the roots and that, so I can plant like a seeded pod that'll help from disrupting the roots. Plus it'll help keep the moisture around those roots until they can send a tap root down and get established in the earth. Same with the carrots. It's important to keep these moist until they get a foothold where they're supposed to be. Just be gentle with them. They're very fragile at this point in time. Now these onions we're planting are the sweet onions, the Texas sweets. Alright guys, well I'm going to go ahead and finish putting these in here, and we'll come back to you once we get them all done. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to sow the seeds in the ground. Okay y'all, I got them. The ones that were in the tray. The onions I had in the trays are planted. I'm going to sow in 2 rows of seeds here in a second. I want to water these in. So hopefully these will do well. I'm hoping. We're going to see how good they do, and then we'll see as far as when we sow the seeds in the ground. We'll see how they do. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rake this area where I'm going to sow. Alright, so now I'm going to put them about 4 inches away from the last planting of the sweet onions. That's more like 8 inches. I'm just going to press that down. I'm going to walk on it and make a groove in the ground. I'm going to sow my seed. Alright, you can see that little trench that it made. That's all we need. It only needs 1/4 of an inch of dirt over it. Let me go grab the seeds. Alright guys, this is what I got left over from Haas. And I'm just going to sow them into the ground. Just going to dump them out in my hand. And we're going to sow them in that little trench I've got there. Alright, there's some more in there yet. And I'm trying to drop 2 or 3 when I drop them. And then I'll thin them out later. Cover them up with some dirt. Very light. Only take 1/4 of an inch dirt. Okay. And I'm going to put the marker, Texas sweet onions. So 8/4 is when I planted the seed in the seed trays, but we're going to put down today's date. This is 9/5, so it's actually, those things have been growing a month. So I'm going to put this where we planted the seeds in that row to know what they are, and then we're going to plant I'm going to plant a row of the red. We're going to do it the same way we did this one. Okay guys, the next one's going to be the red maiden. We're going to plant those, sow them in the ground. I had no luck, I didn't get one. Well, actually one came up, but it died in the seed trays. So I'm hoping that sowing them in the ground is going to be the way to go. All right guys, simple as that. Throw that aside and see how many seeds I have. So I'm going to go ahead and put my signage down at the end here of the row. That way I know where the row is and what's in it. All right. So, seeing the planting depth is 1/4 inch, so you don't need much. All right, try our luck with these. All right, we're gonna hope for the best on this one. Okay, we're gonna water those in and pray for the best. And I might have to come out twice a week. I'm sorry, twice a day and give these a mist just to keep the ground saturated. All right guys, we're gonna come back in a week to 10 days and see how everything's doing. All right guys, I hope you liked that video, short and sweet. We planted the onions that were in the trays. We sowed 2 rows of onions in to see if that does any better, and